Love, it has been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact and I can find
Well, a very good evening to you and welcome to this week's episode of the Xrad Round Up, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xander Network, live from an undisclosed location. And no, it's not my mother's basement before you ask. On today's show, we have the Entertainment Roundup with Jason Prince, David Weissman from Reactionary Times and many other publications joins us to break down this week's hottest topics and so much more. You can join us today in the live feed. You can comment and we will include you in the conversation. You can tweet me. You can tweet me at Xander Gibb. We'll share that in a moment in the live feed. And we will endeavor to include you in the conversation because we want to know what you have to say about what's going on in the world. We'll get to the live feed in a moment and say hello to people. Yes, we will indeed. I'm just waffling for a second while I share the live feed, but feel free to do so yourself. You can click the share button, which should be around somewhere now. No, it's not up my nose. I think it's over to the left, but I'm guessing it depends on where the feed is on your screen. Oh yes, sirree. So click that button now. And also while you're about it, after the show, go to my page and we will, you'll be able to sign up for my mailing list at xandergibb.com. And for a whole week, everybody that signs up will be entered into a draw. Oh yes, sirree. You can win a copy of my album, The Platinum Prequel, and my book, The Boy from Beyond the Ice House, all for free. I'm really looking forward to talking to my guest, both of my guests today, actually. It's been a while since I have spoken to them. We're going to be breaking down the hottest of topics with David Weissman. We will be talking about the NYC terror attack, which is the subject of my soapbox tonight. As you can imagine, being a New Yorker, it's something that really kind of bothers me somewhat, shall we say. Oh yes, sirree. So I'm just gonna finish sharing these links. If you are out there and you would like to be an associate producer on the show, send me a DM and we will get you set up to do that. Which comes with privileges. Not only do you get to speak to me personally, which is just as good as getting paid, but also we will give you producer credits on the TV show when that starts again very soon. So there's so much that we can do for you if you want to help us out on the show. And of course there'll be chocolate and possibly vodka. You know what it's like. Life with Xander Gibb. Oh, and of course pizza. I can't get this thing to paste. But there you go. Let's just come to the live feed and see who is in there. Hi to... Gosh, you can't see it. It's so small. Hi to Chet. Hi to David. Hi to Eileen. Hi to Justin. We have the Freedom on Deck crowd in tonight. Hi to Christopher. Hi to Martha. Hi to, who else is there? Hi to Mel. Hi to Leonard. Hi to Pamela. Hi to everyone who is in the live feed. Now, if you're just listening or watching and you're not in the live feed, I encourage you to come and join in the live feed, because that way you can interact with me and tell me how fabulous I look, and check out my $5 t-shirt that I got today in the mail. Gotta get those bargains. Oh yes, Serene. What else did I want to tell you? Everyone's chomping at the bit to talk about the terror attack in NYC. You know, obviously that we've got to be so politically correct about. Screw political correctness. But I will come on to that in just a second. Oh yes, I will. In fact, I will come on to that now. I will, if I can get my cue prompter to work. It is not working. Okay, well, let me just refresh the teleprompter, because as wonderful as I am, it's hard to remember every single little thing. I mean, heck, you know, I got a new t-shirt today. What more do you guys want? Okay, I think we're getting there. All these technical hitches, I blame the Democrats, I really do. They're sabotaging my show, them and Facebook, but we won't mention that because they will be kicking me off, and I really don't want that tonight, because I really might cry the way that I feel this week, because I'm pissed, if I'm allowed to say that on my own show. I really am, and I want to tell you why I am. So as a New Yorker, I know many things to be true. I know that we New Yorkers are strong and resilient people of spirit. After 9/11, we came together stunned but stronger, that those who would oppress us and would want us dead would actually do it on our own doorstep, in our own city. They flew planes into our buildings, they killed our citizens and destroyed our skyline. All over the world, cowards are making their mark and killing and maiming in the name of Islam, the religion of peace. Whether it is driving buses into markets at Christmas, bombing pop concerts attended by children, or hiring a Home Depot truck and driving it into my fellow New Yorkers and killing them, this cowardice has to stop. Now, the left will tell you that it's an offense to link these attacks to Islam when the perpetrators cry Allahu Akbar as they do the deed. Now, Muslims will be offended if you comment on the fact that the perpetrators are in fact Muslims, or Democrats, or both, as the case has been of recent times. Now, society is affected by daring to speak the truth, and the societal fabric is torn if we are not politically correct. Now, excuse my French and cover your ears if you don't like bad language, but fuck political correctness. Yes, I am angry tonight, folks. We have bowed to it for too long. The left has bombarded us with the blood-stained liberal epithets of tolerance and acceptance, while our brethren are murdered in the name of that peaceful religion. Now, even the most cultured imams will tell you that there is an attempt to indoctrinate us. Let's face it, we had 8 years of attempts of Islamification at the hands of Barack Hussein Obama. Yeah, he's a Catholic, of course. And those of us who will resist will be shamed into silence. No, not this fat conservative homosexual. He can throw my brethren from roofs and then send Linda Sarsour to make nice with us, but with the full funding and seal of approval by New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, but we still won't give in. Now is the time to get tough. Now is the time to offend, and time to stand and be counted, or political correctness will get us all killed. Now, don't be divided on whether or not the latest coward was homegrown or not. It's just a distraction. Now, any Muslim who is more concerned with being tarred with the same brush rather than condemning these cowardly acts is, in fact, a part of the problem, as are those who wish to explain terrorism away. Now, how many more times does President Donald Trump have to try and protect us before these fools see that this is about protecting American citizens? Be vigilant, people. There is a war on out there. That was my soapbox, and I am Xander Gibb. If you want to get on your soapbox, then what you need to do is message me privately, and we will get you on in order to discuss it. Oh yes, sirree. We will indeed. Let's have a look what's going on in the live feed. I need glasses, I really do. Let's see if I can increase the size of the font a little bit. Okay, Chet says, well said, Xander. Carla says, preach it, Xander. Everyone's saying, well said, thank you. I am angry today, as you can probably tell. I also wanted to say, I want to send my prayers and my good thoughts out to all of the people that were affected by this NYC terror attack, and people that are affected by terror attacks the whole world around, because it's not changing. And I think while we have this attitude of complacency, it's only going to get worse. Michelle Quick says, Ron Jeremy, no, I'm his love child, Michelle, and my mother is Roseanne. Bye-bye. Justin says, $50 visas and his little lotto. Yes, agreed. What else is out there? Chris says, if you got it, flaunt it. Don't get me singing, dude. David says they would blame the Russians. We'll find out a little bit more about that when we have him on in a little while. Chet says, Chuckles Schumer should be shot. Well, we don't advocate violence, but I definitely see where you're coming from. And it's funny how he's kind of shied away from his little visa backdoor program, and you know, it's very liberal, I have to say. Charles says, hey to you, Charles. What else have we got out there before we bring on our guest? Hello to Stephanie, glad you're okay and well and safe. To all my New York peeps out there, I'm glad you're safe, and you know, spent a lot of time over the past few days just making sure that everybody was. And I'm thankful for these apps that let you know, let people know that you're safe. But what I actually want now is an app that actually shows us how to tell whether someone is jihadist or not. Oh, wait a minute, that's not possible. Oh, it's not possible. Yeah, they're telling me in my ear that that's not possible. So why then are liberals acting as if it is? It's time to bring on my, blah, 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 blah. Can't talk tonight because I'm so angry. It's time to bring on my guest tonight, who is Jason Prince. He's a singer and a songwriter and a broadcaster, and he is also a segment host on the Xrad TV show, which is called Xandermonium. I'm gonna try and bring him on now via the wonders of Facebook Messenger. We love you, Facebook. And it's ringing. See, this is why I need an assistant in order to do all of these little things. It's ringing. I hope that Jason is... Are you there, Jason? Hello? We can't hear you, Jason. I'm gonna try reconnecting the call because sometimes with this Facebook Messenger thingamy-bob, it doesn't work very well. It's ringing. As you can hear. Jason, can you hear us? Nope. Jason, we're having some problem with your audio. So I'm just gonna tell him that we can't hear him, and then we will come back to we can't hear you. And we will come and check on Jason again in a second to see if he is ready. Pamela says we must replace our AG so he will go to MY and restore safety and sanity. Chet says Schumer said it's benefited NY in a big way. And it looks like we have a terrorist in the chat. We often have terrorists in the chat. Mena Sanaya says, look at the Middle Eastern people that look like me. LOL, watch the people that look like me. That's interesting because I'm always very grateful when Muslims or people that look like Muslims speak out and say, hey, look, this is, we all need to be checked. I remember being at the airport a few years ago and this white chick said, let's see if we can get Jason this time. Hello, Jason. Jason.
Xander, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Welcome back to the show. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? We have liftoff. Welcome. Wonderful. Welcome back to the show. You're live on the Xrad Round Up. How is the world with you?
Oh, the world tonight. I've had the most wonderful day today. I'm here with friends, actually, in sunny Sussex, in Brighton.
Wonderful.
And that was a bad reception, actually, because Brighton, they've got dodgy internet phone reception always. I'm here with my lovely friend, Miss Jason, the drag superstar, Miss Jason, and the filming of a TV show, Mr. Jason's House Party.
Wonderful.
And I just went backstage to receive your telephone call because there's no reception. I went down upstairs near the laboratory now.
Isn't it terrible when you have to go to the dunny to be able to get some connection? So I want to jump right into it because we don't have a lot of time. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that Mariah Carey, who's a multi-platinum recording artist with countless Grammys, but there was one thing on a milestone that she didn't yet achieve until now. Now, the 47-year-old singer was honored this week with Hand in a Footprint ceremony at Lomas Chinese Theater in Hollywood. But she basically said that it was she who felt honored. She said, oh my God, please, I'm just happy. I'm honored to be here. And she actually resisted the urge to sing, which is kind of interesting. So what do you make of these Hollywood Walk of Fame types who end up getting a kind of a thing on the Walk of Fame? Do you think it's kind of outdated? A lot of people are saying it's favoritism, and some people are buying them. What say you, Jason?
Oh, I mean, Mariah's such a hero, isn't she? I think that maybe she does feel a bit humbled as into that New Year's Eve summer. I think
right.
she has to get out there with the pill again. I mean, that because of the New Year's Eve thing with the lip syncing and the dance she did that, I think she needs to touch base with her fans again, and she needs to bring that people person back we used to know. I think by doing these things, I think that she's going to win back the hearts of her fans. She needs
right.
to be back out there in the fire, and she needs to be. I think she really is feeling humble because I think she's really been through the bill with publicity recently, especially with a lot of the photos of her, slightly, should we say, larger than we're used to seeing her in
right.
outfits. And I think that, she's really taken the grilling since New Year's Eve, especially from the press. Plus, Mariah's World, the TV, and, some of the stuff on the unbelievable. So I think that now, maybe the bubble has burst a little. But we all do love Mariah because she's got so much talent, hasn't she? Her voice is just absolutely beautiful. She's a great showman.
Right.
And I just think that, she's touching the public again by doing these.
But she's a pain in the butt, Jason. I mean, we all want our stars to be a little diva-ish. I mean, but when your diva-ish kind of goes off the clock, and we saw, in the reality show Mariah's World, that she just, I mean, how can one person be that up themselves? 200% Egyptian cotton sheets and things like that. How can one,
I think that maybe she's starting to see that now, and that's why she wants to do these few events that have got more in touch with the fan. Because I think she has lost touch with reality a little, Mariah, hasn't she?
Yeah.
And She was famous so young. Let's remember that. She was famous incredibly young. She won part of America, she won part of the world at a very young age. And I think she had everything done for them so much over the years. That's why hence on New Year's Eve, the sound wasn't there. You know, for experience, I know we've discussed this before, maybe, you know, have gone to places where that's out, where the backing tunes out, you know, they learn to deal with it, they learn to throw their voice, they learn to pick that one, it's happening, do a bit of acapella. We've all had to do it. But Mariah was very, very famous, very, very young. And I think that it's really led to a bit of a world where she's been in a bubble for a long time. And I think the bubble and the backlash of the press really hit in on New Year's Eve and caused to a lot of these stories. And I think she's touching base with the fans again now.
Right. Okay, well, we need to move on. I want to talk a little bit, you know, it's been Halloween this weekend. Obviously, both sides of the pond that celebrated in kind of different ways, but, you know, lots of people dress up. But I want to talk a little bit about how amusing it is. There's nothing more amusing than seeing the celebrities dress up to celebrate the spookiest day of the year. But allegedly, seeing their furry friends all dolled up too is apparently funny. Now, some of the cute costumes that people like Miley Cyrus, The Rock, Lauren Conrad, and other stars have outfitted their pets in for Halloween. Now, the ideology is that the pet enjoys it is nothing short of puzzling. What do you make of this, Jason?
Well, you know, it's a bit like celebrity children, isn't it? I mean, they're not really given a choice, are they? But pets is slightly different, you know. If it's a dog, I always think the dogs are just happy to make their owner happy, you know.
Right.
The owner is the leader of the pack. And I just remember when I was a kid dressing up as mad with glasses on. Even when I was a baby, there's me on out, people having to retrieve and stuff, you know, fighting the dog like it's a horse. And they probably get the other things, but they're just happy if you're happy, you know. You're their leader of the pack. I think it's cruel or anything like that.
Well, I think it depends on the getup. I mean, you know, if you're dressing a dog, even dressing a dog up as Hillary Clinton is kind of a little bit too far. But we won't get political in this segment. But I do kind of feel, I don't have any pets right now. But if I had pets, I wouldn't be dressing them up for Halloween. There is no way I would be doing that.
Well, I wouldn't put my dog in real fur.
No, absolutely not, because it's got its own fur coat. Anyway, I want to jump to our last topic very quickly, which is something that kind of I couldn't believe this when I read it today. That an arrest warrant was issued for Rose McGowan, who's an actress, for felony possession of a controlled substance. Now, the warrant obtained by the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority Police Department was issued on February 1st, according to the Associated Press. Now, police have launched an investigation after they allegedly found traces of narcotics in personal belongings left behind on a United flight arriving on the Washington Dulles International Airport on January the 20th. Now, a spokesman for the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority Police Department, I never want to have to say that phrase again, Rob Yingling, what a fabulous name, told Deadline investigators that he believed the personal belongings were McGowan's. He said, our police have attempted to contact Ms. McGowan so that she can appear in the Loudoun County Court in Virginia to respond to the charge. Now, Yingling also said there was a warrant out for the star's arrest, which surfaced after the actress brought it up on social media recently. Now, the 44-year-old who's accused Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein of sexually assaulting her claimed the warrant was part of a conspiracy to silence her. Now, with her and Corey Feldman having issues with the police, do you think that this is an attempt to silence them?
I think that when you mess with people in high places, or when you go against people in high places, I think that, you know, these people are so connected. Now, through the lines on this story, I really don't think that things were planted on us, okay? I do, however, think that, you know, we all know, there's so many celebrities use Class A substances, okay?
Surely not.
It's common knowledge, common knowledge in Hollywood that a lot of celebrities use Class A substances. Now, this is usually turned a blind eye to. However, if you set people in high places and they didn't know, then I'd smell a rat with it. I don't think anything's been granted on it, but my gut instinct says she's upset someone
Right.
in a high place that has organised for this to be found on her.
I don't doubt it.
I don't think that she's innocent in it. Do you understand?
I do. The thing is that they probably would have turned, let's face it, lots of celebrities get found with drugs every day, and I'm not condoning that. Unfortunately, drug use is a part of everyday life, with celebrities. How many times have we hung out with celebrities, Jason, and they've offered us cocaine? I mean, it's an easy path to friendship with a celebrity to get cocaine. So I think this would have been kind of like ignored if it wasn't for the fact that she was making this big stink about Weinstein.
You think the same as me, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's very convenient. So Jason, in the last,
too much of a coincidence.
it totally is. In the last couple of minutes that we've got left, I want you to tell us a little bit about the work that you've been doing with the UK charity, the Albert Kennedy Trust, and what you've been doing to raise money for them.
Well, basically, obviously, because it's 50 years leakage in the partial decriminalisation of homosexuality in the UK, I was actually interviewed earlier on in the year by Simon Gibb, which we discussed on an early round. And as a springboard from that, really, I was influenced by my friend, the former to the Black David, to actually write a song to celebrate 50 years legal. But really, it's gone from there. The song's called Love Is the Only Law. And to think we've been with Lucky Brown at her house, and she was the first celebrity to get behind it, and she's actually recorded a part of the track that we were recording the video.
Brilliant.
Since then, we've managed to liaise with the Albert Kennedy Trust, which is an actual specialises in looking after LGBTQI plus youths to 25.
Right.
Those that have got mental issues, those that have been abused, and we forget that even though it's 50 years legal this year, we have a long way to come in the LGBTQI plus community, and the Albert Kennedy Trust are looking after the kids, because the kids nowadays have got a different set of problems to deal with, and charity really help with that.
Absolutely. So tell people where they can find out more about that, Jason, and indeed find out more about you.
At the moment, the title of the group, so to speak, we call ourselves Love Against the Machine. And the single is released in time for Christmas, we're called Love Is the Only Law.
Right.
It's all over Facebook and Twitter, and actually her clip, if you want to hear a clip of the song, it's on YouTube at the moment. But we've got some great pop stars on. We've got Julie and Jay, we've got stars of the 80s like Hazel Dean, we've got Samantha Fox, and we've even got all the kids from the Albert Kennedy Trust actually rapping
Brilliant.
as well. It's a great record, I'm very proud of it.
Absolutely. I look forward to hearing the final product, Jason, and I hope you raise lots of money for the Albert Kennedy Trust. But for now, Jason, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we will speak to you very soon.
An absolute pleasure, my darling. Lovely to be back.
Thanks a lot. Great to have you. Take care.
Loads of love. See you.
Bye. That was Jason Prince, singer-songwriter all the way from Brighton in the UK. Let's go to the live feed to talk about comments. So Eric John, if you can't say anything productive, bye-bye. The couch is not for sale, but I hear your mother is. Dave says Facebook is trying to ban him. Well, you're a conservative, Dave. What do you expect? Hi to Eileen up in Canada. I hope you're good. Chris Lowe wants to talk about Return of the Jedi. What else? Camille says It's actually very casual. Everyone does the drugs. They do. I wonder what message that's sending out there. You know, I can't be really holier than thou about drugs because, you know, I've had publicized public addiction problems in the past. You know, I had an addiction to cannabis, and people that say it's not a gateway drug are, you know, are incorrect, basically. Dan Newmeyer says Xander Claus. Ho ho ho. What else? Chris says, hey Ryan. I don't know who Ryan is. Blah, blah, blah. What else? Chet says, but to have it as your last name, no thanks. I'm not sure to whom he is referring. I really am not. So I'm gonna bring our next guest on now. His name is David Weissman. He's a writer and conservative commentator for many publications, far too many to name, including the Reactionary Times. He should be in Israel right now, which is apparently the home of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is really doing good over in Israel. So let's see if we can get David on the line right now. If I can work out this technology, I'm such a technophobe. We're calling you, David. It's ringing. Okay, we will try David again in a little while. Some great points came up from that last interview. A lot of people talking on the live feed about drugs and the attitude of celebrities to drugs. Now, a lot of people are talking about it with regards to Hollywood right now because everybody's really on the back of Hollywood, and quite rightly so. Hello, Wing Faz, you want to place order?
Hello.
Hello, this is Wing Faz, you want to place order?
Sure, I'll take 3 slices of pepperoni.
Yeah, sorry, we don't do pepperoni pizza, only Chinese food, bye.
Well, you're fired.
Welcome back to the show, David. How is the world with you, and how is Israel?
It's doing really good.
Wonderful.
And, Israel is awesome as always.
Wonderful. Now, before we get into the hot topics, I heard a little whisper this week that Israel is the place to be for Bitcoin, and that it's becoming a leader in the Bitcoin market. Have you heard that?
A little bit about it. Israel is always known for startup companies. It's very, very competitive, very capitalistic in many ways. So it doesn't surprise me. So it's good. It's good for the economy, and it's good to intermingle with other countries with Bitcoin.
Right, absolutely. I actually saw this on Roseanne Barr's profile this week, and as you're in Israel and you are an American living in Israel, I thought I would mention that to you because that's how my brain works. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the NYC terror attack this week, the Islamic jihadist terrorist attack. We're not allowed to call it that, but I'm going to call it that anyway. So the man accused of plowing into people on a lower Manhattan bike path on Tuesday apparently had been planning the attack for a number of weeks. Police officials said he did this in the name of ISIS, and along with other items recovered at the scene was some notes that further indicate that he followed almost exactly to a T the instructions that ISIS has put on social media channels before, with instructions to their followers on how to carry out such an attack. Now, the suspect is a 26-year-old. I'm not going to mention his name, but he was shot in the abdomen by a police officer and was transported to hospital for treatment. Now, authorities are calling the incident a suspected terror attack, and the guy is believed to have worked alone. Law enforcement sources have said. A handwritten note in Arabic was reportedly recovered from the scene. Apparently the gist of the note was that the Islamic State would endure forever, not if we conservatives have anything to do with that. Now, investigators have talked to the guy who is said to expected to survive, unfortunately. You know, because I'm all for it. You know, these people that say, you know, that they were trying to, meet their maker. Give me that gun and I'll facilitate that for you. Now, it's unclear, if anything, what the investigators learned from him, but apparently he seemed to be proud of the attack. So, you know, bring him back to New York and let New Yorkers show him how proud he should be. Now, according to sources, the perpetrator rented a truck about a week ago in what may have been part of advanced planning. There were 5 young entrepreneurs, model citizens in Rosario society that were killed, and I can only imagine with beautiful families. A representative said Anne-Laurie Decat of Belgium was also killed, leaving behind a 3-year-old son and a 3-month-old daughter. The mayor of the Belgian town of Staden said, apparently. Now, what I want to ask you, David, is, first of all, obviously, once again, we want to send our condolences to all of those affected by this. But also, I want to talk a little bit about the left's response to this, which to me kind of compounds this almost support of terrorist activity. I'm sorry, I just have to ban someone from the chat. What do you make of the left's response regarding this, and is it kind of
Well,
on purpose?
it's not surprising. Every time there's an Islamic terror attack, they never mention it. It's like they turn a blind eye to Islam. You know, even when the conservatives, when we bring it up, hey, this is an Islamic terror attack, many on the left will go, oh, what about the white murderers? What about the Christian murderers?
Right.
Enough already. This is Islam. We can take all the lists of all the white people or Christians that killed, and then you actually look at that list of Islam. Islam is, huge. It's all over the world. It happens in America. It happens in England. It happens, Spain, France, Israel, everywhere.
Right.
And I'm sick and tired of the fact that, they call you a racist when you mention Islam. FYI, people, Islam is not a race.
Right. I just want to stop you for a second because I really want to touch on that point. It's so typical of the left to attach nasty names to us, basically, calling us racist, homophobic, all of these bullshit terms when we dare to disagree with them. But Islam is not a race. Muslim is not a race. So stop labeling it as such. One of the things that really concerns me, David, is the sidestepping, like saying things like, the terrorist was homegrown. He went to Afghanistan to do it. And maybe he lived in the United States while he was going to Afghanistan. But I don't think that makes him homegrown. And what difference does that make?
Exactly, it makes no difference. The only really key difference that it does make is with President Trump trying to implement the travel ban. And then you have these liberal judges who are saying no. So, personally, I hold them accountable for allowing terrorism to happen. Just think,
right.
Uzbekistan or whatever the heck this country this guy is from is on a list. Just think those people that are dead can still be alive.
Yes.
And it's ridiculous how the left is almost enabling terrorism.
Well, they're actually physically enabling terrorism because I don't know if you know this. I think we may have talked about this before, but the mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, has given taxpayers money to support the work of Linda Sarsour, who I want to choose my words wisely here. She basically she's indicated on a number of occasions that she supports ISIS. So why are liberal mayors giving money to individuals who support terrorism?
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's this whole diversity, quote unquote bullshit that, they care more about, than actually safety of Americans. And you're right. Not only does she support ISIS, but she also supports Hamas. Hamas is just the same as ISIS.
Right.
And it does make no sense. And I know they also had this program in New York about the diversity where they would bring people from different countries and, sending Americans up for failure.
Right, and this diversity program, let's talk about that for a minute, that was set up by Chuck Schumer. The point is he's totally backpedaling on that and not doesn't want to have any connection with that now. But let's face it, a lot of these liberal ideologies facilitate the possibility of terrorism. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And it's mind-boggling how it is so irresponsible, so careless of these policies that, how many more times is this going to take for finally they wake up, what? Islam is a problem.
Right.
And
I think we spend...
at least say radical Islam. It's like, you can't even say radical Islam.
I think we spend far too much time, pontificating on choosing the language that we choose, the vernacular that we choose in order not to offend people. I don't want to offend people, but I know this ideology that, we can't talk about the fact that it was a Muslim. How many Irish Catholics are walking down in downtown Manhattan saying Allahu Akbar? I mean, tell me, David.
I don't know, maybe as much as many Mormons, maybe?
Yeah, probably so. I want to ask you a question because I think that this has been something that has been talked about all week. Do you think it's actually possible to prevent these attacks?
Yes.
Right.
I keep posting about it all the time. Learn what Israel does. Israel thwarts it every single day. And you have to sacrifice a little, of course, but it's doable. I can't tell. Once a day, terror. You see it on the reports. Terror attack thwarted. Very rare does the terrorists get lucky, and they're automatically eliminated. So yes, Israel is a prime example that terrorism can be prevented.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a way of life.
So when liberals talk about the travel ban being racist, do you actually think that they forget that this was actually originally this was based upon something that was initiated by the Obama administration?
Well, that's typical. Yeah, you're right. Obama had a travel ban of his own, and it's like they had the rose-colored goggles with the anointing one when he was in office. And then President Trump does the same similar strategic move, but their hatred, for some reason, of President Trump gets to them.
Right.
And they become unhinged.
Yeah, it's totally unhinged because, I don't see why in 2017 any president, regardless of where their political leanings are, should have to apologize for protecting American citizens, and that's the point we've got to. In 2017, it's like the president has to be an apologist for protecting the American people. What do you think we learn every time these things happen?
We don't learn. That's the problem. If
Right.
we learn it, it wouldn't happen. The conservatives get it, but President Trump is only one person, and we do have a GOP establishment that hasn't really been supportive of President Trump lately. So obviously, these mistakes are continually happening.
Are you having a horror party in the background there, David? All these creaking doors and things like that.
Sorry, that was actually my daughter in the background.
No worries. I just heard this really loud creak, like you would in a sound effect. Now I want to change the subject slightly and move to a different topic. So actor Anthony Rapp, star of Game of Thrones and Star Trek, this week accused the actor Kevin Spacey of making sexual advances towards him in Spacey's NYC apartment when Rapp was 14. Now Spacey invited him to a party and, seemingly intoxicated, carried Rapp to his bed, laid on top of him, and after Rapp squirmed away, tried to lure him back into the apartment. Now BuzzFeed apparently made numerous calls to Spacey and his management for comment unsuccessfully, and then Spacey released this odd explanation, kind of like a coming out statement, as it were, via Twitter, saying basically Hollywood is collapsing under itself and has been coming after decades of abuse, and Spacey's playing coy with the media with his sexuality and says he has relationships with women too. We're guessing this means like his aunts and his sisters and his mother. Now Spacey claims not to remember the incident and says that if it happened, he apologizes deeply for his inappropriate drunken behavior. And uses the occasion to clarify finally that he's chosen to live as a gay man. Oh yes, we all choose to live as gay men, Kevin. Well, that's all good then, not. Now Spacey's clumsy revelation has set back the hard work done by the gay community to educate people on the difference between a gay person and a pedophile. Now, amid the responses, there was no concern for Rapp, typical predator behavior, and I'm not sorry that his show House of Cards has been cancelled. Now, I don't do a lot of kind of stories on this show regarding gay people because they, they bore me, to be honest. But this is something that really spoke to me this week, David, because this behavior, this excuse, I'm gay and I was drunk, is absolutely no excuse for molesting a child, right?
Absolutely. There's a huge difference. I mean, you have a gay couple, adults, it's consensual. When there's a child involved, it's not consensual. It's breaking the law. It's one of the worst things anybody can do to a child. And the audacity to use that, I mean, that's just wrong.
Right.
There's so many levels.
I mean, as a parent, you must view this even differently again. I mean, for me as a gay person, I've gone to great pains all of my life to kind of educate people as to the difference. Obviously there are some gay people out there that have molested children, but to actually tar everyone with the same brush is ridiculous. And I think we got over that. I think we kind of moved on. But then when someone in the public eye comes out with this kind of stuff, it really sets us back.
I think you're absolutely right, because there's like yourself and many other members of the LGBT community are actually coming out conservative, coming out, you don't have to play the card, and and something like this sets you guys back, and in a very, very bad way, and I hope that Kevin Spacey will be punished for what he did.
Yeah, I don't know what the statute of limitations is, but because every state seems to be different. I mean, I do think in fairness, and I'm torn about the statute of limitations on reporting with sexual assault, because quite often victims are scared to report it. They're afraid of losing their jobs, they're afraid of action being taken against their parents, etc., etc., etc. But as well as that, how do you prove that something happened, 20, 30 years ago? But clearly this was an admission. Well, it was kind of like a half admission. But then to say, oh, if it did happen, it was because I was drunk and hey, I'm now gay, is just, for me, the weakest response ever. But I was kind of pleased by the fact that, the liberals didn't support this. Well, most of them didn't. And most of the gay community were horrified and furious, and quite rightly so, rather than jumping on the bandwagon of support for this pedophile. There, I said it.
Well, there are some things that are just bigger than politics, and you have to put politics aside. to fight something like this.
I think you're absolutely right, because some things are about right and wrong and not about the color of your politics. Now, I just want to say that there have been some people in the live feed tonight who have really taken pleasure in, constantly barraging me with commentary and angry emojis. For me, it's like water off a duck's back. I've spent 40 years dealing with assholes. So a few people in the live feed that want to say nasty things and send me an angry emoji. Go through your life. I mean, really, grow up, get a job, get a hobby, and stop voting for Hillary Clinton. Now, our last... Oh, was that too mean, David? So the last thing I want to ask you about is, I don't know if you saw this week, but at the end of a press briefing with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, April Ryan asked Sarah after as she was leaving the room, does this administration think slavery was wrong? Now, clearly it was said for a fact, and clearly anybody that is, halfway decent will be able to see the errors of slavery. But why do black Democratic representatives and politicians keep harping on about slavery? Yes, we need to learn from it. Yes, we need to make sure it doesn't happen again. But does it need to be our every conversation? Sorry, let me just move my white privilege out of shot before you answer.
The liberal black community does the same thing as the liberal Jewish community. Liberal Jewish community shows anti-Semitism hard, just like they do, and they forget that they're black, they forget that they're Jews. It's the liberalistic stuff that actually keeps them in as a victim.
Right.
Even though they're not.
I mean, there certainly does seem to be this victim mentality. I mean, don't send me 1,000 emails telling me how there is racism in the United States, because I know there's still racism and discrimination in the United States. I don't doubt it, but we don't change racism and discrimination in the United States, or indeed anywhere else, by harping on about slavery. It really bothers me when people do this kind of hit and run kind of stuff. When you're just on your way out of somewhere, or you're just finishing the show. Last week we had someone get pissy because I wouldn't answer their personal questions about my life. And it's very interesting, I find, Satan really tries to get a foot in the door all the time. And I find so many times when I'm trying to do my work that, the devil uses individuals to attack. And I kind of feel that this is a little bit like the case there. Not saying April Ryan is the devil, because she's a Democrat or because she's black. But really, professional people should know better. And this woman really doesn't know the difference between what's professional and what isn't,
And I'd say I want to give kudos to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She always handles herself very professionally.
I love her. I love her to pieces. And the thing I like about her the most is that she really doesn't care. The things they throw at her, I've seen the caricatures that people have drawn talking about, she's just a face with eyebrows and all of these things. But, she's got bigger balls than Sean Spicer. And I think that she will last, as many rounds as Donald Trump is prepared to go. I mean, did you hear those rumors this week that apparently Donald Trump has been indicating that he might not run for a second term, which I wouldn't blame him for, but I don't think he's going to leave us orphan, do you?
He's going to run again, and he's going to win again.
Right.
I mean, hope that Hillary runs.
Yes. Well, I don't think she will. I think that if she does, then she's a total martyr. But I did think it was interesting that over the past week or so that stuff has come to light. Where they keep dangling this prosecution thing in front of our faces with regards to Hillary, but then they never do it. I mean, slap this woman in irons and put her husband in the cell next door, and the rest of with Obama and the Obama administration too. And I think then we'll go some way towards having some kind of recompense for all of the criminal activity over the last 40 years. Now we are getting to the end of our time together, David. Tell people how they can contact you and look at your writings.
Sure, you can find me right here on Facebook and on Twitter, where we're active at David M. Weissman, and I write for Reactionary Times, also Trump Times, Xrad Media, and the Times in Israel. And I'm also here in Xrad.
Absolutely, and it's always great to talk to you. Please give our best to your lovely family, David, and we will talk to you again very soon.
All right, you have a good weekend.
You too, buddy. Thanks a lot. Take care. That was David Weissman, live from Israel. Make sure you follow him. All of his contact information is on the Xrad Facebook show page for this week. Thanks to everybody who's made today's show possible. Thanks to Jason Prince. Apologies for the audio for his segment. Thanks to everyone in the live feed. Far too many to name. I thought it was interesting that I just wanted to point out that Dan Neumeyer said, people are far more interested in the color of slavery than slavery itself, and we never talk about white slavery. We never talk about people that people are being sold into the sex industry every day in this country of all colors, but we don't seem to want to talk about that. Thanks to far too many to name in the live feed. I'm just looking any points. Yes, Duncan, I hope that he will run. But I wouldn't blame him if he didn't. This is a thankless task, and let's face it. Hi, Dan. Let's face it. Some of America has not treated him and his family very well. And if I was as rich as Donald Trump, not only would I be inviting Xander Gibb over to the White House for tea, I would be putting my feet up and just playing golf and not dealing with any of this. Any of this BS. I really wouldn't. So we are at the end of our time together. Please follow me on Twitter. Please share this show. Please, guys, get angry. Because I don't want to be the only one doing so, because it's not good for my blood pressure. But as well as that, we all need to be getting angry and standing up for the fact that we are free and we are Americans, and that we should be able to walk the streets safely without being killed by terrorists or anybody for that matter. So make sure you follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram too. All of the links are on my Facebook page. I will be on the Real Side tomorrow night with Joe Messina, just for a change. I'm doing my weekly political commentary spot. And I really do love you all, and I hope you have a safe and happy weekend. And remember, if you see something, say something, and don't hold back, and don't be afraid to use the phrase radical Islamic terrorism. I really do love you all. Peace out. Bye-bye.
Been good to me this time.